Ohtani was betrayed by Mizuhara. Part 1.
Let's go back to March 28th, 2024 for the Dodgers' home opener. Shohei Ohtani's home debut was met with a standing ovation from the crowd as fans welcomed him with a thunderous cheer. However, shortly after opening day, a theft scandal involving his former interpreter came to light, involving a total of $4.5 million. He suddenly became the center of attention for a story that had absolutely nothing to do with baseball itself. And now, 2 years later, details from that time have been revealed in an ESPN documentary podcast. Through testimony from Ohtani himself and Mathew Bowyer, the full picture of what happened is gradually coming to light. What do you think about the truth behind this case? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.
The day 7 years of trust was betrayed.
The story of Shohei Ohtani and Mizuhara began in 2013. Mizuhara was entering his second year as an interpreter for foreign players with the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. While enjoying a fulfilling life as a member of the Fighters, 18-year-old Shohei Ohtani joined the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters in 2013. Over the next 5 years, Ohtani put up incredible numbers and quickly rose to become a superstar in Japanese baseball. During that time, Mizuhara traveled with the team as part of the first team staff, watching Ohtani's journey up close, and the two gradually grew closer. With that connection, when Shohei Ohtani finally announced after the 2017 season that he was making the move to Major League Baseball, he personally chose Mizuhara to be his personal interpreter, and Mizuhara joined him with the Los Angeles Angels. Mizuhara also began a new chapter in his personal life, marrying a woman outside the public eye in 2018 and starting a new life, both personally and professionally. From his very first year in the majors, Ohtani made a sensational impact both on the mound and at the plate, winning the Rookie of the Year award, and steadily climbing the ranks to become one of the top players in Major League Baseball. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Mizuhara took on far more than just interpreting. He served as Ohtani's driver, helped with his personal training, kept him company in the dugout, arranged his meals, and acted as his point of contact with the media. And when a fight broke out, he would even pull Ohtani away from the crowd to protect him from getting hurt, taking on the role of a bodyguard. In many ways, he handled a wide range of responsibilities, like Ohtani's personal manager. At the time, it would not be an exaggeration to say that Ohtani's life in America was made possible by Mizuhara's presence, but no one could have imagined that their deep bond of trust would eventually lead Mizuhara to listen to the devil's whisper. In 2021, Ohtani's fourth year in the majors, 27-year-old Shohei Ohtani had recovered from elbow surgery and was finally cleared to fully return to two-way play. He won 9 games as a starting pitcher while hitting 46 home runs, the third most in the league. His extraordinary numbers as both a pitcher and hitter earned him the season MVP award. It was a season in which he took a huge leap forward. But that same year, Mizuhara met someone who would change the course of his life.
The road to gambling addiction.
Mizuhara went to a poker game venue when he traveled to San Diego for a series against the Padres. In fact, Mizuhara was reportedly a passionate gambler. There were even rumors that before becoming an interpreter, he had enrolled in a training school with the goal of becoming a casino dealer. And on this day, he met a major gambler named Mathew Bowyer. Bowyer was a high-stakes gambler who was rumored to move enormous amounts of money in a single game in Las Vegas. Behind the scenes, he also had another identity as an operator of an illegal sports betting business. The illegal gambling operation run by Mathew was secretly operated without proper government authorization. All customer bets were placed on credit, with no betting limits, and wagers were made only through phone calls or text messages with Mathew. It was a completely illegal operation. If a customer won a bet, Mathew would pay out the winnings. But if they lost, Mathew could take the entire amount they had wagered. Since most bets naturally don't win, Mathew was said to have watched his customers' debts continue to grow, generating enormous profits for him. By getting involved with someone who was completely outside the law, Mizuhara's gambling instincts were awakened. He became more and more deeply trapped in the world of gambling, right in the palm of Mathew's hand. In 2022, Mizuhara appeared to have a glamorous life on the surface, as the trusted partner of superstar Shohei Ohtani. But behind the scenes, his involvement in illegal gambling was spiraling out of control. According to information later revealed by Mathew's attorney, Mizuhara was a terrible gambler. He was addicted to gambling. Even as his losses piled up and he was unable to keep up with his debts, he refused to stop betting, driven by the kind of thinking common among people with gambling addiction. I can win it back next time. Over the course of 2 years and 4 months, Mizuhara placed illegal bets through Mathew at least 19,000 times. Later, when Mathew, the operator of the illegal gambling operation, was asked why he had allowed one interpreter to rack up such enormous bets, and why he believed Mizuhara could pay him back, he answered, "Because he's Ohtani's best friend." He revealed that he had allowed Mizuhara to build up such massive debts because he knew his best friend was a billionaire. It was also said that when trying to recruit new customers, he would exaggerate by saying, "I have Shohei Ohtani as one of my clients," exploiting Ohtani's name and fame. Great wealth often comes with various risks, and as Ohtani's close companion, Mizuhara was seen as an easy target. Combined with his own gambling addiction, his total debt had grown to approximately $16.97 million. Before he knew it, Mizuhara later looked back on his situation at the time, saying, "I was worried for my safety, wondering if someone might come to my house to collect the debt."
A major scandal behind Ohtani's incredible success.
With no idea what Mizuhara was going through, Shohei Ohtani had an incredible 2023 season. In March, he became a national hero by leading Japan to victory in the World Baseball Classic. Then during the season, he became the first Asian player in MLB history to win the home run title. As a pitcher, he also reached double-digit wins and was named MVP for the second time in his career. Meanwhile, his interpreter Mizuhara was at rock bottom, buried in debt and with nowhere left to turn. But then, there was a major development in the enormous debt that had continued to grow. In the final investigation, it was found that over 36 transactions between February 2022 and October 2023, approximately $16.97 million had been transferred, and all of these payments had been transferred from Ohtani's bank account. The undeniable electronic records showing that this enormous amount of money had been transferred from Ohtani's account would later lead to various suspicions. In October 2023, federal authorities searched Bowyer's home and other properties. As they traced the flow of money through the illegal gambling operation, transfers made under Ohtani's name came to their attention. The federal government's investigation into Mathew was aimed not only at cracking down on illegal gambling itself, but also at tracing how money from the illegal gambling operation was moving through casinos and other channels. In December of that year, Ohtani exercised his free agency. His impressive resume, including 2 MVP awards, combined with the meticulous negotiating skills of his agent, Nez Balelo, led to a move to the Dodgers on a $700 million deal, the largest contract in Major League Baseball history. On top of that, Ohtani got a dog named Decoy, and in 2024, he made the surprise announcement that he had gotten married, keeping Shohei Ohtani front and center in the media even during the off-season. The more successful Ohtani became, the more attention and recognition his interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, received as well. In fact, starting in April 2025, a middle school English textbook was even set to feature Mizuhara in a passage titled "The People Who Support Athletes." Finally, the 2024 season was about to begin. For the first time ever, MLB opened its regular season in South Korea. With Japanese superstars Shohei Ohtani and Yu Darvish, along with Korean hero Ha-seong Kim, the Padres' shortstop, making their homecoming appearance, tickets for the opening series became highly sought after. As the day approached, both Japan and South Korea were caught up in baseball fever. Ohtani walked into the stadium with a light, confident step. In stark contrast, Mizuhara, walking behind him, appeared somewhat gloomy, with what looked like a vacant expression. But that look wasn't because of the pressure of opening day. Mizuhara had just finished an interview, and the countdown to the moment when everything would be exposed had already begun.
The day everything came to light.
It was March 19th, the day before the season opener. At 4 a.m. that morning, Shohei Ohtani's agent, Nez Balelo, received a call from ESPN, the U.S. sports network. The message was that there were records showing a large amount of money had been transferred from Ohtani's bank account to an illegal bookmaker, and ESPN wanted to interview Ohtani about it. Balelo didn't respond right away. Instead, he contacted Ohtani's interpreter at Mizuhara and asked him to confirm the details with Ohtani, who was away on the team's trip. After that, Mizuhara told the agent, "I had Ohtani cover my debts by paying $500,000 at a time. Ohtani said that was the maximum amount that could be transferred in a single transaction." The agent and crisis management team immediately began gathering information about Ohtani and Mizuhara. But Mizuhara was the one acting as the middleman throughout the entire process, and he said that he, not Ohtani, would speak to ESPN. The next day, on the morning of the season opener at 11 a.m., Mizuhara spoke with an ESPN reporter for 90 minutes over the phone, with Ohtani's communications representative also present. During the interview, Mizuhara said, "This money transfer was to pay off my own debts. I asked Ohtani to help me cover them, and although he wasn't happy about it, he agreed. Right in front of me, Ohtani himself used the computer and made the transfer as I instructed." And Mizuhara added these specific details to his account. After I told him about this, it was hard for me to even look at him. But he's such a great person that he treated me like nothing had happened. Ohtani would always say, "Gambling is terrible. Why does everyone gamble?" He described Ohtani's reactions and behavior in meticulous detail, and finally concluded by saying, "I intend to pay Ohtani back." It was a seemingly flawless performance, making it look as though Ohtani really was the one who had done it. After ending the interview with the shocking claim that Shohei Ohtani had covered Mizuhara's debts from illegal gambling, Mizuhara entered the stadium alongside Ohtani. Looking at the two of them, Ohtani appeared as fresh and composed as ever, while Mizuhara seemed to have a somewhat lifeless look on his face. The Dodgers won the season opener, with Ohtani delivering the go-ahead RBI. After the game, as the players were celebrating the victory, a private meeting was held in the clubhouse at 11 p.m. Team owners and executives were there, and when they announced, "A report is about to be released," Mizuhara stood up and confessed, "I have a gambling addiction." Then, when Dodgers executives revealed that Ohtani had covered Mizuhara's debts, Mizuhara explained the details in English. Ohtani didn't have a backup interpreter available that day, and because he couldn't fully follow everything that was being said, it was said that he didn't fully understand everything that was being said. After this meeting, the Dodgers players returned to the hotel. Ohtani spoke privately with Mizuhara, and then Ohtani's agent and team executives joined them for another closed-door meeting. Then, at 12:30 a.m., Ohtani's communications representative contacted ESPN and said, "Mizuhara is lying. Ohtani knew nothing about this." At the same time, they warned ESPN. The contents of the interview with Mizuhara were false, so please do not publish the article. They emphasized that the information had been inaccurate, because Mizuhara had been the middleman for all communication and fact-checking involving Ohtani. Then, at 3 a.m., Ohtani's legal team issued a statement saying, "It has been discovered that Ohtani has been the victim of a massive theft." Just 30 minutes later, the Dodgers announced that they had fired Ippei Mizuhara over allegations of theft.
Ohtani was betrayed by Ippei Mizuhara, Part 2.
Once news broke that Ippei Mizuhara had been fired by the Dodgers, and the series of reports uncovered by ESPN came to light, shockwaves quickly spread across Japan and the United States. Just one day earlier, fans had been caught up in the excitement of opening day. But overnight, the shocking news took over TV news shows, online articles, and social media, becoming the talk of the town. At the same time, speculation and theories were flying around in both Japan and the United States, with people debating what had really happened. Because Mizuhara completely changed his story overnight, and there were numerous contradictions and suspicious moves throughout the whole sequence of events, a conspiracy theory began to emerge. Did the Dodgers rewrite the story? So, what was the truth? As media coverage intensified, Ohtani took the field as usual for the Dodgers' second game of the season. Mizuhara, who had been fired early that morning, was of course nowhere to be seen. From that day on, Will Ireton took over as Ohtani's interpreter. Then, the following day, MLB announced that it had launched an investigation into Shohei Ohtani and Ippei Mizuhara over the illegal gambling allegations, and both men were interviewed as part of the investigation. In the United States, the narrative that it was only natural to think Ohtani had covered the debt for his friend remained strong. And the fact that Ohtani continued to remain silent about the matter only fueled the speculation. The rumors kept escalating. Was Ohtani also involved in illegal gambling? Had he even bet on baseball? The speculation went so far that people were even discussing the possibility of Ohtani being suspended. On social media in the United States, various slang terms and nicknames for Ohtani began popping up as well. The derogatory nickname $sign Shohei Ohtani, which replaces the S with a $sign and had briefly gained traction during his free agency, spread even further because of this scandal. It eventually went as far as posts claiming the modern-day Babe Ruth was the modern-day Pete Rose. The situation had escalated to the point where Ohtani was being compared to Pete Rose, who holds MLB's all-time hits record, but was permanently banned from baseball over gambling on the sport. However, the allegations that Ohtani himself had been involved in illegal gambling were, to say the least, lacking in evidence. Mizuhara's bookmaker, Mathew Bowyer, had his attorney tell local media, "Ohtani's name is not on the client list. Bowyer has never met Ohtani, spoken to him, or emailed him." The attorney strongly emphasized that Mizuhara was the only client, and that Ohtani had not been involved in gambling. Shohei Ohtani had become the center of attention in a way no one could have predicted before opening day. Then on the 25th local time, a press conference was finally held, and Ohtani himself was about to break his silence.
The truth, according to Shohei Ohtani.
I have never bet on sports or asked someone to place bets on my behalf. And I never asked anyone to send money from my account. To put it simply, he stole money from my account and lied to everyone. That's what happened. I never agreed to pay off his debts, and I never authorized any payments to the bookmaker. As Ohtani's attorneys had announced beforehand, he reiterated that Mizuhara had stolen money from his account and lied about it. What was even more striking was that, at the very beginning of the press conference, Ohtani referred to Mizuhara simply as he, despite the fact that they had been close for many years. It was as if the way he referred to him was proof that, given the circumstances, they could no longer have the close relationship they once had. The press conference was broadcast live not only in Japan, but also across the United States, with media outlets reporting on it all at once. However, the reaction was mixed. In the US, some fans were relieved, saying, "Ohtani's innocence has finally been proven," while some reporters praised him for speaking as openly and honestly as he could, even though the investigation made it difficult for him to discuss certain details. At the same time, there was criticism that he did not allow a Q&A session, and that he had provided too little information. One reporter who was there described it this way: "There was no revelation of dark secrets, no sensational confession, and no apology." The biggest question for many people was how Mizuhara, who was not Ohtani himself, had been able to transfer money from Ohtani's bank account. Ohtani did not explain the specific method used to make those transfers, leaving many people with unanswered questions. At the press conference, Ohtani described it as Mizuhara, accessing my account without my permission and transferring the money. However, some people pointed out that for Mizuhara to do this, he would have had to get past identity verification, two-factor authentication, and other security measures, making it seem unrealistic that he could have impersonated Ohtani and bypassed such strict security. On top of that, some questioned how Ohtani could have failed to notice that $500,000 had been stolen, while others pointed out that Ohtani's accountant or tax advisor should have seen the transfer records and confirmed them with Ohtani himself. Meanwhile, Pete Rose, the gambling king, who was permanently banned from MLB, delivered a cuttingly sarcastic remark: "I wish I'd had an interpreter back then." Mathew Bowyer, who was Mizuhara's bookmaker, appeared on the latest episode of ESPN's 30 for 30 podcast titled The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani. According to Bowyer, it became clear just how extreme Mizuhara's gambling was. Within 30 days of him starting to place bets with Bowyer, who has also acknowledged that he is a gambling addict, testified as follows: "I've bet more money than most people ever would, but I have a life. I sleep sometimes too, but that guy was clearly betting non-stop all night long. I had never seen anything like it." Bowyer described Mizuhara's gambling addiction as being completely out of control, saying he was digging a hole, then digging that hole even deeper. He repeatedly placed high-risk bets in hopes of hitting a big payout, and the more he tried to recover his losses, the worse the situation became. It was, quite literally, a textbook pattern of gambling addiction. As a result, the total amount Mizuhara embezzled from Ohtani reached approximately $16.97 million. Every dollar of it was used to repay his gambling debts to Bowyer. Ippei was completely out of control. He was trying to get out of debt, but because he kept making high payout bets, he was trying to fill the hole, and that hole kept turning him into an even worse gambler, Bowyer said. Mizuhara admitted to illegally taking Ohtani's money, and was sentenced to 57 months in prison for bank fraud and filing a false tax return. He is currently incarcerated at a federal prison in Pennsylvania, with his projected release date in 2029. In Japan, it's well known that Ohtani has dedicated his life to baseball and has never been particularly concerned about money. With annual earnings of around $100 million when including his endorsement income, it's entirely possible that he might not have noticed, even if $500,000 transfers were being made from his account. And as for the question that has sparked so much debate, how was Mizuhara able to make those transfers? While this is only a theory, we now know that it was not necessarily impossible. The U.S. banking system is complex and requires specialized terminology and a high level of English proficiency, so it's possible that Ohtani may have left everything to Mizuhara. When his bank account was first set up after moving to the United States, some people may think that, in general, it would be unthinkable to leave various personal matters to an interpreter, who is not a family member or close friend, let alone put that person in a position where they could access and move a huge amount of money. However, for Japanese baseball fans, who had watched Shohei Ohtani's personality and his relationship of trust with Issei Mizuhara for many years, it was seen as something that could actually have happened. Even at the time, many Japanese fans tended to believe Ohtani's account. Ohtani met Mizuhara when he was 18, and they spent around 12 years together, including their time in Japan's professional baseball league and 6 years together in the United States. For Ohtani, Mizuhara was a one-of-a-kind presence and an absolutely essential partner, both personally and professionally. That fact remains unchanged. In 2021, when Ohtani won his first MVP award, he shyly said, "The person who helped me the most was definitely Issei-san." And at the press conference where Ohtani spoke about Mizuhara's theft, he seemed to intentionally refer to him as he at the beginning. But as the press conference went on, he naturally began referring to him as Issei-san instead. Perhaps this was a sign of an incredibly deep bond of trust between them, something that outsiders could never fully imagine. For Ohtani, losing his closest friend in such a painful way must have been an unimaginable emotional blow. But now that he has his wife, Mamiko, his beloved dog, and the blessing of their 2 children, I hope Shohei Ohtani will once again bring us plenty of good news through what he does best, baseball.
Thanks for watching all the way through. What did you think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue to follow Shohei Ohtani's incredible journey. See you in the next one.